All right, everyone, let's give a big CO pod welcome to Bailey Shey Morris. Bailey, how you doing?
I am well. How are you? Thank you so much for having me here.
Of course, you're always welcome. We always love talking to badass women.
Love that.
And you fit right in with this cohort.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to get it started and just learn a little bit more about you. What got you into construction?
I always tell people it was very accidental. I don't know how I ended up here. I'm glad that I did, though. But I remember it was 2020 and COVID happened. And I think that just really shook things up for a lot of people. My brother and my mom run a roofing and construction company out of Cary, North Carolina. And so I came up to support that and just do a little lifestyle change, go to school up here. But I fell in love with the business plan around roofing. And I got so much experience working with them. But when that kind of, plateaued, I'm like, I need to go find some more experience. Mm-hmm. So I went to go work for a general contractor as their general manager. And they operated on a larger scale. Mm-hmm. And I learned a lot. And one day he just comes over to my desk and he's like, why don't you just open up your roofing company?
Yeah.
And I thought it was taboo because, the people that taught you, your mentors, it doesn't seem like I could go into that space.
It just seems like they're saying that because they're your mentor.
Yeah. Or like it's my brother owned one, like my mentor, he's the one that showed me, how to learn all these different skill sets that I had. And so I just did it. I took a leap of faith. I had a lot of responsibility that time, taking care of my father who was ill, and it turned out to be the best decision I've ever made. It's been a journey.
Yeah, and that kind of brings me to another point. We think about the stereotypes of construction, back way when, and it was, you either go to college or you go into construction.
Yeah.
But really, we're seeing it now in this whole new light that this is a career path. Mm-hmm. This is a space where you can make 6, 7, however many figures.
Yeah, the sky's the limit.
Exactly. And it's like, it's just so exciting to see that in our times now and for our future generations of badass women construction workers and
Absolutely.
business owners.
Absolutely. And I'll add to that, I was so big into education growing up. It was a huge part of our household. Mm-hmm. And college was like, you go to college, you get a degree.
Yes.
And I was in school for electrical engineering. And yes, I'll go back and finish that to close that door at some point.
Yeah.
But there's so many opportunities outside of that you kind of just want to grasp them when they come. Mm-hmm. And that can wait. And I do feel like, especially for people that are my age and in this age range, school there's different meanings behind it now. And maybe there's certain professions that you really need to go there. But especially in North Carolina, like this is such an entrepreneurial hub. Yes. And there's so much support everywhere that it made it a little bit easy to go a different direction.
Yeah, and especially, having mentors in that space, having, people in that space makes that transition a little bit easier. Of course, it's never
lot easier.
A lot.
It's not easy. Nothing's ever easy in entrepreneurship, but it is a journey. It's the quickest way to work on yourself, I'll tell you that.
Yes, it's a built-in therapy.
Built-in therapy. I have skyrocketed over the past year. Different person, for sure. But what I will say is mentorship. Mm-hmm. You are a sum of the top 5 people that you surround yourself with. And I think that young persons and women need to focus more on that. And that could be your spouse, that could be your family. Sometimes you got to divorce, some people that you grew up with. Like, that's okay too. But I will say that your network is your net worth, and the people that sit at your table determine your path forward. So be very careful who you choose to sit there.
I always say, life is who you surround yourself with, and you are a direct reflection of who's around you.
So and who I've cut out.
Yeah.
I think that's important too, because not everybody needs to come with you on your journeys through life. And there's also phases. And if you're not evolving, well, then that's probably not a good thing.
Yeah. And it's, protecting that inner peace.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to get into a little bit more of your leadership style.
Sure.
Being, of course, the badass woman leader that you are.
Love that. Keep saying that.
It's so true. Badass.
Yes.
Construction leader.
You're so kind.
And it's just so inspiring to see. But, how do you bring that identity into your leadership style?
I think I bring a lot of the feminine energy too, as well as the masculine energy. And it really comes from, and what I've learned leading a team that has actually stayed with me for my first year in business.
Wow.
The whole team. And I've watched their growth, but it really is building people up.
Yeah.
It's not focusing on revenue. It's not focusing on the numbers. It's not focusing on the shiny trucks that some people get a little mess with. It really is focusing on the people and knowing who they are as a person, in a sense, like if you don't want to put somebody in a position where their strengths aren't showing.
Exactly.
And so I have to really pay attention to the people that I'm bringing on, and I need to lead them in a way that their strengths are outshining their weaknesses.
Yeah, that's one thing I talk about a lot on this podcast is bringing the humanity back to business.
Absolutely.
We're all humans at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I think it's more, of course, revenue is important, money is important. That's why we're all here.
True that.
But, even further than that, it's the people.
Mm-hmm. People over profit, something that we say a lot.
Yeah.
And honestly, the profit comes with pouring more into people. Like, you really have to treat your team like assets, not liabilities. And that's something that I have learned this year, is that they truly matter, and I want to keep them. So like 5 years from now, I want to have the same people and be like, hey, we built something really great, and I can help them put food on their families' tables. And that's something that's really humbling for a business owner, especially me.
Definitely. And I think, as business owners, I'm not one, but I've heard from a lot of them that, I think scaling with teams has been one of the big issues that, as we're scaling, we're trying to keep our company culture, trying to keep all of that. So how do you see your future with scaling when it comes to your team? How are you going to keep that same, the same vibe that you do now?
Yeah, it's interesting with small businesses, and even coming from working with a family business, like you don't want to lose that small business family warm feeling. But I think that you can keep the warmness as long as your operating systems, your SOPs, workflows, like they're all they're all well curated to a point where you can still keep that warmness as well. And I really think it's a hiring thing too. Like the people that you bring on, like you have to be very particular about hiring. If somebody's here to affect the energy in a negative way, like you need to make sure that you're having those conversations and letting them go sooner rather than later. And hiring big time. And hiring other leaders so that we can create more leaders so that we can grow responsibly and scale that way would be my biggest thing.
And what are some of those traits and qualities that you look for in anyone that you hire?
Um, accountability, um, definitely compassion, and the ability to educate.
Yeah.
Are really great leaders. My company, the platform of my company is education, whether it's for my team or it's homeowners or it's other builders that we're working with partnerships. We just want to make sure to educate, and I think that really starts from the top down. I'm an educator. I don't like to gatekeep information. I want to share it, because the more that my team knows, the more they can do and they can teach others. And then it starts from the top and goes to the bottom.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, lead by example.
Yeah. So we've learned a little bit about you, a little bit about your leadership. I want to know a little bit more about your company, a little bit more about the industry. We have to get a little technical here.
Absolutely.
So what mistakes do you see contractors making when they're transitioning into commercial work?
So, as a company that's in its infancy, I've been open for 10 months, and obviously, like, the big numbers aren't commercial.
Yeah.
We want to just jump right in, right? And residential is amazing, and we love sitting at, dinner tables and coffee tables with customers and having that intimacy. But with commercial, it's a different animal. It's more technical. There's more people involved. You're working in areas that are more unsafe. So, if you don't have the systems and processes set up while you're working residential, it's not going to happen. It's going to be
Just don't even try.
People can get hurt, actually.
And die.
Yes, they can die. I will say if you are, and we can get back into what we do as a residential contractor, but I will also say capital, you got to have money.
Yeah.
Like there's payment plans that you have to set up. It's just a little bit more complex. So if you can have all your systems and processes like solid, tight, airtight, like nothing can penetrate those, then, and it's working consistently all the time, then I would say, yeah, reach your way into the commercial space. So like for us, we want to scale responsibly.
Yes.
And I think that's a testament to our mindset. My company is, if we're scaling responsibly, we're doing right by other people.
Yes. So one of the things I heard you talking about last night at the event with CCC was that, you guys really blend luxury and sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that a lot with other businesses, not as much with roofing. What does that mean? What does that look like?
We're definitely trying to make roofing sexy. And what we mean by that is there's two things that are important to me, is sustainable roofing practices and also a luxury
Yeah.
I love luxury. But it doesn't mean that there's not a whole other side of the business that is our insurance and restoration.
Mhm.
We still are able to help the community in that way. But on the luxury sustainable side, we are an endorsed contractor through Brava, which is a manufacturer of 85% recycled material tiles.
Oh, wow.
Luxury tiles. I'm talking Spanish barrel tile,
Ooh.
wood shake. I know, get a little shimmy
Sexy
right there.
tiles. I love
Absolutely.
it.
Slate.
Ooh, slate.
I know. You see a lot in our historic downtown in Raleigh. And what's really great is that even we're like for us, our goal is to partner with custom home builders, architects who are building homes with sustainability in mind. The cool thing about the recycled products is it's not only great for, the environment, but you also don't have to re-engineer your home to support the weight of heavier, real tiles. And I also think it's a great opportunity for customers to save money on the roofing. It is a true 50-year tile.
Yeah.
With real slate products, real Spanish barrel tile, we have one major hail event, dirt or something falls. The maintenance on these roofs can substantially increase your annual budget for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a true 50-year shingle. We're so proud to be an installer, a certified installer. That really makes a difference. Air quotes, not certified. Um, and it's something I hope to bring to the Raleigh market. I hope to make a big splash, and I'm excited.
But I definitely think you will. And, just seeing you interact with the room last night and network and, really the importance of what you guys are doing. I'm really lucky to get you in this early before you're a big hot shot.
You're so funny. Thank you. I hope so.
I hope so too. But some rapid fire questions for you now.
Okay.
So, what is one myth about roofing that you want people to understand?
Gosh, I remember I was somewhere here and I was asking my business development manager, Jessica, I was like, what is a myth? What is a myth? And I would say 80% of our business is insurance roofing.
Okay.
And I think everybody in the homeowner community knows that there are people that come to your doors and they ask to do free inspections. What I will say is that not not all roofers are the same, and there are those who really value integrity, transparency. And I think it's a really tumultuous environment right now around insurance roofers. And I do want to demystify that because we do good work and we work with insurance carriers and the respect is there and it's shared. And not all roofing contractors are the same. So I would highly encourage you, if you're a homeowner, do your research, read your reviews, testimonials, and make the right choice.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like making that choice. I mean, for me, maybe because I'm so it's hard for me to make decisions on big stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
it is a big decision.
it's a lot. It's a really big decision. That is your roof over your head.
Yes. And insurance is really tough right now, and everybody feels it in the roofing industry. And two things there is like a lot of people who got into the industry and insurance roofing 10 years ago, they're having to pivot. If they don't pivot, my God, they're gonna go out of business.
What's that pivot?
They're not approving as much. The parameters are different. They're, so as to speak, moving the goalpost farther away from getting full approvals. And I think that a lot of homeowners and even business owners, roofing business owners, forget that insurance is a business too.
Yeah.
So while they, approved everything under the moon, over the past 10 years, they're probably trying to recoup. But we just have to think of it differently. We have to play a different game. A lot of insurance work is dealing with adjusters and almost like a word chess. It's like a chess game to get the approval. And we only want to pursue claims that we really think have solid foundations to move forward. We want to be respectful of everybody's time. And with that said, we're able to overturn a lot and help a lot of homeowners out.
I love that.
Yeah.
As a future homeowner,
Yes.
love that.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Well, Bailey, it has been so great having you on this episode. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you.
Yes.
This was so fun.
Yay. And we'll see all of you guys on the next episode of CO Pod.